bod yr offer yn gweithio cyn i chi wneud?
O, ie, please, ni edrych yn hynna rwan.
Ie, iawn, dim problem. Pnawn da bawb, good afternoon. Dwi'n cymryd eich bod chi wedi dewis eich iaith yn barod.
I presume that you've already
chosen your language. So I'm therefore going to do a quick test to make sure that the translation is working. Mae yna ddau gyfieithydd, there are two translators, so I'm going to be saying two sentences to make sure that both are working for you. Felly, na I just deud brawddeg sydyn rwan, a mi ddylio bod chi'n clywed y cyfieithydd
now, and
yn
you
siarad.
should be able to hear the translator speaking. If you don't hear the translator speaking, can you please let me know?
I
presume then that everybody's okay?
No, Andrew can you, Andrew Hinchcliffe can't hear.
Okay. I can't see you, Councillor Hinchcliffe, unfortunately. Which, are you on a laptop or an iPad?
A laptop.
A laptop. Have you chosen the language at the bottom where it says
Yes, I have, yeah.
You have. And you can't hear anything at all coming through?
No, I'm
this
on
is
English.
The first translator. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You can hear something now.
Oh, God. I'm not sure what you were saying. Yes, I can hear the second speaker, yeah.
You can hear the second. Okay, can I just try the first again, please? Sorry, I don't know who went first and who went second. Felly, os dwi'n deud brawddeg arall rwan...
I say another sentence now, you should be able to hear the translator.
I can hear it. It was very, very quiet.
Okay, and with the second one, is that better? Felly, os dwi'n deud rhywbeth arall rwan, ydy'r ail gyfieithydd yn siarad rwan?
Can we hear the translator now?
Yes, still quiet.
Is the volume up full on your laptop, Councillor Andrew?
Oh, I put it up a bit more. Okay.
Maybe, just in case that makes a difference. Is there anybody else that can't hear anything coming through from either translators before I go?
I can't see anybody near.
No, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Diolch.
Okay, we'll just begin the recording and the streaming, and then I'll let you know when we can start. Okay, yeah, we can begin.
I think Councillor Peter's microphone is muted.
Oh, Councillor Peter, we can't hear you.
I think it'll be on the cable. It looks like it's unmuted on the system.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, right, okay. Apologies for that technical glitch. Brown Dar, welcome everyone to today's Council Annual General Meeting, where we are all attending remotely. All microphones will be muted unless you indicate your wish to speak, at which point the chair will call out your name and you will need to turn your microphone on. Can I remind members to choose their language of choice, as translation facilities are available. And as if you wish to speak, that you use the raised hand function. You can also use the chat facility. So I assume that the meeting's members have attended, quite used to those facilities. So we're now going to start with the prayer, which is going to be offered by Councillor Austin Roberts. Have you unmuted Councillor Austin?
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nid gweddill sy gynnau fel y
I don't
cyfryw.
have a prayer as such. What I do have is a series of poems. And under these past circumstances, I think they're quite relevant. The funeral. The church bells ring out, inviting us inside to pay our last respects to a dear old friend who's died. Gathered in the house of God, remembering one poor soul, fighting back the tears, calmness now our goal. Our thoughts are with the family as we stand there dressed in black. Among friends and relatives, we walk the churchyard track. And then we take refreshments at the local village hall, eating scones and bara brie while chatting to one and all. We catch up with old friends as we've all gone our different ways. We stand there reminiscing about life and better days. And as we leave for home, our sadness takes its toll while passing the church gates, remembering our dear lost soul.
Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you very much.
Diolch yn fawr, Austin. Well, I know members were deeply shocked to learn of the death of Councillor Dave Cowans, and you already have been notified of the funeral arrangements on Friday. But I thought it was appropriate that this council meeting that I ask two councillors to actually pay tribute to Councillor Dave. So I'm now going to ask Councillor Wyn Jones if he would lead a tribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. This is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do as a councillor, I feel. I do feel it's a great privilege to get the opportunity to say this. This eulogy really unnecessary. Everybody does know Dave. He wasn't shy. He was a really open character. He was, you know, ready to state his opinion. And I'm sure you've all got your own memories of Dave. Some of you have been kind enough to share your memories already. I was really glad to see those memories, thanks. Dave was a character who wanted your attention, you know, he demanded your attention, he was confident, ready to state his opinion, ready for a chat. To chat about politics or about mountaineering or climbing, usually with the same amount of interest in the people who were mountaineering as the mountains. He was faithful, proud and supportive of everything he believed in. He was kind and always ready to advise new councillors and officers. He was a socialist from head to toe. He delivered effective speeches with an assertive opinion. As his group's leaders, sometimes I would worry a bit when he was going to speak about what he was going to say, but he did deliver effective speeches and, you know, he demanded your attention. He had a definite opinion always. And, you know, he made you listen to him. He was also ready to listen on different opinions and he was willing to change his mind if needed. He was happy to change his mind if needed. He phoned me many times with an idea about an email he wanted to send out. And I have to tell him, you know, it might be a bit extreme, and I have to tell him, that might be a bit robust, Dave. And then he'd come back with, yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe leave it for now. And, you know, he would be happy to leave it and to rethink. Dave was elected for the first time in 1999 to Colwyn Ward and then to Arias Ward from 2012 onwards. He was an effective cabinet member under Dilwyn Roberts' leadership from 2012 onwards, with responsibility for finance and resources first of all, and then of course he moved on to ERF. Ready to voice his opinion again, but at the same time always ready to listen and to include members from each party in the discussions. He had faith in the officers and was always supportive of them. And in time, the officers had faith in him too. It was during this period that his Team Conwy mantra started. Conwy, the council and its residents would come first, always, before politicians and politics. He didn't hold back from giving his opinion about national politicians from every party, and very often that opinion wasn't always something to be approved. He will be greatly, greatly missed. I will miss him. The group will miss him. The council will definitely miss him. Rest in peace, Dave.
Thank you, Councillor Wynne. I think all of us will recognise many of those points that you've raised in connection with Councillor Dave. I'm now going to ask Councillor Bob Squires to pay tribute. Bob worked with Dave in Colwyn Borough Council, and then obviously subsequently worked with him, actually both service the same ward in Conway Council. So, Bob, your words, please.
Diolch yn fawr, Mr Cadeirydd. I've known Dave for getting on for 45, 50 years since he came to Colwyn Council from Chester. I remember in the 70s, Dave was aware that I was instigating proceedings against Manweb after a 21-year-old electrician was electrocuted on a caravan site in Pentrellyn Cymru. As a result, Dave asked me to do a full inspection of his parks and gardens activities, which I did, and found numerous contraventions, including a considerable explosive risk from what was stored there. We sorted out the problems, and as a result, became good friends as well as colleagues, which continued until we became fellow councillors for Arias Ward at the last election. As has been said, Dave was a keen climber of some renown, having conquered some notable peaks in his lifetime. He was always an early riser, early to work, early doors to the pub, and early to bed. He even took a paper round at one time in Old Colwyn because of his very active personality and want to do something early morning. He was an avid Manchester City fan and was a well-known character in the village, as he was always ready for a laugh with anyone. He had an incredibly infectious sense of humour and could make a witty comment out of any situation, which endeared him so much to those that knew him. Dave was a really genuine person, but you had to get to know him to understand his character and his quirky ways. He was a staunch socialist, as has been said, all his life, and most of you will remember his oratories in the council chamber and the passion with which he delivered them. He will be sorely missed by his family, who Dave loved dearly. All in all, he was a lovely man who lived life to the full. We will all miss you, Dave, so rest in peace. Diolch yn fawr.
Well said, Bob. Well done, mate.
And I thank you both for those fitting tributes. And I thought that we obviously all have our own memories of Dave, and now propose that we have a minute's silence. So if you just bow your heads, and I'm sure you'll remember Dave and all his character and good times. Diolch yn fawr. So we move on to the agenda. Item 1, election of chair. Are there any nominations? Councillor Aaron.
Diolch, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. I'd like to start by thanking you for your leadership, chairing the council meetings over the past 2 years and more. It's been a really challenging time, but I'm sure that everybody here today shares the same thanks and want to thank you as well. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of nominating Councillor Abdul to be a new chair of the council. We all know Abdul, don't we? And we all know that he is a kind man. Abdul has talent for talking with people, and he's one who can bring people with different opinions and so on together to talk about very important matters. Of course, as we go into this new world after the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, the role of the chair will probably be a little bit different to usual. But I'm quite sure that Abdul will be able to get on with any challenge over the web or in real life. But of course, the task is the same, to remind the members all the time to turn on their mics in the chamber or over Zoom. Abdul was the first Bangladeshi mayor in Wales, and I really hope that with your support today, that he will be the first Bangladeshi chair of this local authority. Therefore, I nominate Councillor Abdul Khan to be chair of council. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder?
Yeah.
Councillor Sherrill.
Thank you very much, Chair, and can I echo Councillor Aaron's thanks to you for everything you've done, especially during these unprecedented last 6 months. Thank you very, very much from the people of Conway. I'd like to second the nomination for my colleague and friend, Councillor Abdul. He will serve Conway very, very well. He's a dedicated councillor and a thoroughly nice person, and he's going to do his very, very best, I know. So I'm delighted to second his nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sherrill. Well, I'm obliged to ask if there are any other nominations. No, I'm going to move quickly on. Well, members will know that this, in spite of there only being one nomination, you're obliged to vote by secret ballot. So the poll will appear for you, and to vote, you confirm the Councillor Abdul as chair of this authority. Has everybody voted? We're still waiting for 2 members, apparently. Okay. Okay. Pardon? I voted. Yeah. We're just checking if we've got a result.
Chair, there was 55 votes casted, and Abdul Khan has been elected as chairman of the council with 55 votes.
Well, I'm sure it's no surprise that it was a unanimous decision that Councillor Abdul Khan be our next chair of Conway County. Normally, at this point in time, can you hear me now? Somebody keeps playing around with my laptop. microphone, I think. Anyway, the result was 100% in favour of Councillor Abdul, and I'm delighted. I'd like to, as well as welcoming him into the chair, thank him for the support he gave me over the last 2 years. Inevitably, as past chairs will know, inevitably we'd have 2 or 3 functions the same day, so I'm very grateful for him for that support. And normally at this point in time, I would pass the chain on to Abdul, but obviously in the COVID regulations, that's not possible. So it has to go into cold storage for 72 hours. So I no doubt he won't have any pressing events to attend over the next 3 days. So it does give me an opportunity now to give my final speech, as it were, from the chair. And inevitably, when you get to my age, you look back on your life, and I've been very fortunate to represent a number of organisations throughout the UK and abroad. And I have to say the last 2 years have been the highlight of my working life. And I think as a chair, you actually get the opportunity to hear from residents and others the high esteem that this council is held in. And that's due to both our staff and you as councillors working together in Team Conway. I think if I was to look back at all the events that I've attended, which have been expertly run, the 2 which have given me the most pride have been the citizenship ceremonies and take part. I think when you actually speak to people out there, you appreciate how much the council is valued. Now, for me personally, of course, none of this would have happened if it hadn't been for the initial nomination of Councillor Phillip. And I'm indebted to him for that, and also for your support as members. And I hope I've returned your trust by both being fair, but also operating in the best interests of the council. Now, inevitably, as past chairs will tell you, you rely on a lot of support in this role. And I'd especially like to thank Ewan and Delith for their wise counsel, making sure I stick to the Constitution. I'd also like to thank all the staff that I've had the privilege of meeting, who have provided me information and looked after the logistics. I'd also like to thank Berwyn, who organised my Civic Sunday, and to Daryl for looking after my day calendar and all those other jobs she does. Past chairs will know only too well. I'd also like to thank my wife for being my able consort. And my final thanks is to you as a council for giving me the opportunity and respect you have shown to the chair, which I'm sure you will extend also to Councillor Abdul. So that's my parting shot. I now hand over to Councillor Abdul.
Thank you, Councillor Peter Lewis, for your kind words. All praise to Almighty for giving us all the opportunity to serve our communities. I'd like to begin with thanking my communities of Glenwood, Colwyn Bay for putting their trust in me for the last 16 years. Without their support, I will not be here today, and I am very grateful to the people of Glenwood for that. Today, I am honoured to accept the position of the chairman of this council And thank you to Councillor Aaron and Councillor Cheryl for their kind words. To all my fellow members, thank you for putting your faith in me. It means a lot to me and my family. And I don't think I can repay your kindness, but will always be indebted to you all. I know it will be a hard act to follow, as Councillor Peter been a great ambassador for this council, and having been deputizing him for over the last 2 years, I know he always been spoken very highly of. And on that note, I'd like to express my appreciation to the civic duties Councillor Peter Lewis has been carrying out during his term in office. And please, Councillor Lewis, convey our gratitude to Mrs. Lewis. I think she has trained you well and made all the sacrifices as well. And that also true of all our families. I think if we didn't have the backing of our families, it would not be possible to carry out our council duties effectively. We councillors are very fortunate to have our great officers in this authority who's been guiding us through difficult times. And I'd like to thank each and every one of their contribution. And I'm sure together we'll plow through this difficult period in serving our communities in true Conway team spirit. Finally, it will be remiss of me not to mention our late Councillor Counts, who was a great officer of this council and then became very knowledgeable councillors who I have the greatest respect for, and he will be dearly missed by all members and officers alike. So thank you all again for your trust, and I'll do my utmost to uphold that trust that you've bestowed on me. If we can go on to the next item, item 2, election of vice chairs. Can I please have nomination? Councillor Grunway Edwards.
Diolch, Abdul, and congratulations. I know it's a very proud moment for you, and congratulations on your appointment as chairman of Conway County Borough Council. I know that you will give it all your the best endeavours that you can, and I know from experience over the years how committed you are to not only your ward but also to the council. So congratulations, Abdul. Can I also echo the words of thanks to Peter. Peter has put an awful amount of hard work into his time as the outgoing chairman. Not only the commitments to the council, the commitments to all the bodies he sits on, and also managing a very successful farming enterprise at the same time, very often leaving at very early hours of the morning and returning late at night. So well done, Peter, and you've been a very faithful and loyal member of our group as well. Well done, Peter. So with those few words, could I also pay my respects to Dave, because I've known Dave for years, member of our group at one time, and you know, a character and a half. So heddwch i'w lwch. So ga I felly gynnig cyngor Ifod.
I therefore propose Councillor Ifod Lloyd-Jones as the nomination for the vice chair. Ifod has been a member of the council for some time now, a member who comes from the rural community. He's a Welsh speaker. I think it's really important that we have representation from the rural community as well as the coastal area for these two jobs. So I propose Councillor Ifod Lloyd-Jones.
Thank you, Councillor Grunway, for your proposal. If I can ask our council leader, Councillor Sam, to second the nomination, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to you again on your election as chairman. Echo all the words said about you, but on a personal level, as you will know, my grandparents, when they were alive, were in your ward. I know the care that you took for them, and so I know you'll do a similar care for the council as a whole. So many congratulations, and looking forward to working with you over the months and years ahead.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to second Councillor Lloyd as well. I think you make a fantastic Deputy Chairman of this council. Thank you.
Chair, can I just say that we've got a number of councillors with their hands up. I've got Councillor Pat Hebron, Councillor Liz Roberts, Councillor Andrew Hinchcliffe and Councillor Chris Hughes.
So I have here Councillor Pat first. Would you like to?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you can start off, Councillor Pat.
Okay, thank you, Abdul. Can I congratulate you on your new role as well?
Thank you.
Can I nominate Councillor Penny Ando for Vice Chair? Councillor Penny does an awful lot for her community, particularly in relation to food banks and poverty in her ward. She's a very hard-working councillor, and also she's been a very effective chair in Scrutiny. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that part. I now have on my list Councillor Andrew Hinchcliffe. Councillor Andrew, did you?
Oh, thank you, Chair. I thought I was proposing Penny. You will all know Penny. She's well known to you all. She's done 3 years dedicated service as chair of the Social Care and Health Scrutiny Panel. She has also done work with the adoption clinic, and while she's been a councillor, she's been a school governor, but she comes to us after a career in education and a lecturer in social care, and her experience will make able to be a woman. We have not had a woman chair for some number of years, and it would be appropriate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Councillor Andrew. I now got Councillor Liz Roberts' hand still up. Councillor Liz, did you want to contribute to this?
Oh, can I remove my hand, please?
Well, you have to do it yourself. I'm sorry.
I tried to do it, you wouldn't do it.
Something is beyond my power. Right. Okay, then. So we got 2 nominations. Do we take the latters first? Yes, yes. So can I get some guidance of Shan on that, please?
So there's 2 nominations, secret ballot again. The poll will appear on your screen. Both names will appear in alphabetical order, and I will ask members to use the secret ballot, not the yes, no, tick and cross in the participants list. So the poll should have appeared on your screen now.
All done.
We've received 54 votes. Is there anybody that's experiencing any difficulty, or has everybody voted? 55. Please remember to press the blue submit button. 56. Right, we will close the poll at 56. Thank you.
Chair, there was 56 votes cast. For Councillor Penny Ando, there was 18, and for Councillor Yvonne Lloyd, 38. And there was no abstentions.
Okay, thank you. So we have a result. 56 votes were cast, 18 for Councillor Penny and 38 for Councillor Yvonne. So congratulations to Councillor Yvonne, congratulations to Councillor Penny. think you both are deserved, well-deserved councillors, but it's only one winner. Congratulations to April. Okay.
At this point, I will. Sorry. At this point, I will ask Councillor Weaver to sign the declaration of acceptance. Councillor Abdul has done it as well, but that's why I'm toing and froing. So I'll just get him to sign. Thank you.
Just want to invite Councillor Lloyd to address the council.
Thank you very much. Just a few words. Thank you everybody who's nominated me to this role and to the majority who supported me. And hopefully that I will able to fulfill this role as Vice Chair of Council. It's a real privilege to accept this position as Vice Chair. I'm completely supportive to our new Chair, Councillor Abdul, and I'm looking forward to being supportive of him during his term as Chair. Good luck to him and to you as a council. Thank you.
Gronwy, Ifor Lloyd, we ddim Ifor Lloyd Jones.
Gronwy, I'm Ifor Lloyd, not Ifor Lloyd Jones. Thank you.
So, okay, thank you for that. Councillor Gronwy, you got your hand up. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you, Abdul. And I was just going to correct my Freudian slip. Yes, indeed, Councillor Ifor Lloyd. Apologies, Ifor, and congratulations. And I'm sure you will be a great support to Councillor Abdul. Well done, both of you.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Yeah, can I commiserate to Councillor Penny as well?
Yeah. Okay, shall we? We can move on then. We got on to item 3. Apologies for any absences, please.
We've got one apology for absence from Councillor Andrew Wood.
Okay, noted, thank you. Item 4, declaration of interest. Code of Local Government Conduct. Members are reminded that they must declare the existence and nature of their declared personal interest. Any members wish to declare an interest? I take it no. Item 5, urgent matters. I'm not aware of any. Item 6, to approve as a correct record the minutes of the council meeting held on 5th of March 2020. On that note, I will go page by page. If anybody wants to come in, Shan will see if there's anybody's hand up. So page 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. I'll just see if there's anyone who wants to speak. Okay, Councillor Peter Lewis, please, on my list to speak.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to propose to Mr. True Record.
No, I unmuted myself, but can Councillor?
You're calling me? I was just going to second the minutes of the meeting.
Okay, no, you have your hands up. So okay, so you seconded that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other speakers on my list? None. Can we then go to the vote then, please? Yes for tick and no for the cross. Can we vote on that? We had a proposer and seconder as a true record. Doesn't have to be secret now, come on. I think we got majority. Yes, Sam? Minute accepted?
Can I just remind members to press either the green tick for yes or the red cross for no? Thank you.
Sorry, Chair. I know it was only yesterday we went to the training. Where do we access it again on the iPads, please?
If you go to the participants icon and press there, you'll see raise hand, green tick or red cross. Yes, coming through now. Was that Councillor Hughes? $74. Yeah. Okay, so I've been told that minutes has been approved. Thank you all.
Chair, Councillor Pantaffi has his hand up.
My apology, Councillor Frank. Do you want to come in?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. And when I'm in, I'll say congratulations on your election to Chair. I'm sure you'll be an excellent Chair. Chair, I don't know why my hand went up. I pressed the green tick and my hand went up, so I apologise. Thank you very much.
No worries, but thank you, thank you. Okay, so we can move into the next item. Is item 6 to approve and correct as a. Have we done the 6th? 7. Apologies. Item 7 to receive any announcement from the chairman, leader, members of the cabinet of the chief or the chief executive. I have none. I'm very fresh. I'm sure. Shall we start with the leader?
Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Chairman. And let me also congratulate Councillor Eva Lloyd now. I enjoyed Councillor Gromley's Lloydian slip, I think he called it, which was a fantastic phrase to use. I was very impressed. But congratulate also Councillor Evold, and my thanks to Councillor Peter as the outgoing chairman. It has been a strange 6 months or so towards the latter end of your chairmanship, Councillor Peter. But certainly through your time as chairman, you served this council wholeheartedly, and you have been respected greatly across the region for your chairmanship of this local authority. And also pass on my thanks to Mrs. Lewis Jane, as you rightly said, for all her support for you over this time as well. I just want to briefly add my respects to the comments already made in regard to Councillor David Cowens as a serving member of this local authority. I chuckled when I heard Councillor Wynne having to try and prevent some of the robust comments coming from Councillor Dave. He didn't manage to do it always when his comments were directed at me, which I always quite enjoyed, because we're opposite sides of the spectrum. But always had great respect for Councillor Dave and his service to his residents and to this local authority. Clearly, a huge amount has happened with this council since we last met formally as a full council together. So I want to just briefly make a few comments around the last 6 months in terms of COVID-19, and then I'll briefly make some comments in terms of the present situation and what the future might look like, Mr. Chairman. COVID-19, as across the world, has had a significant impact on our communities. From what we're told, it's likely to continue having a significant impact for at least the next 6 months ahead of us as well. I'd like to put on record my thanks, first of all, to our communities for rising up to the challenge of supporting one another through these unprecedented times. A good man was once asked, who is my neighbour? And his response was to provide the story of the...
Have we lost Councillor Sam?
You seem to have lost me.
Can you hear us, Councillor Sam?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's back now. Sorry, carry on.
I'm sorry. I was giving my thanks to all our communities who are and have been doing a huge amount of work to support each other through these difficult times. I also want to put on record my thanks for those who are continuing to adhere to those restrictions that are in place, which are there to help the wider community and to prevent the spread of the virus in the best way possible. I'd also like to put on record my thanks to all of our officers and to all of you as members as well for the real spirit of unity that we've created through this in working together to put measures in place to prevent the spread of the virus as best as possible. And especially our officers for looking to provide services in the best way possible. It's incredible that nearly all of our services have continued. They might have looked different, they might have felt a little bit different, but a huge number of our services have continued through this pandemic, and that's a real credit to the hard work that's going on amongst our officers. As I shared with members yesterday evening, and in reports, we will have seen that the number of cases in Conwy has been steadily rising through September. This has resulted in Conwy under a level of review, because we've been steadily around the 25 cases per 100,000 for a couple of weeks now. This is in line with other local authorities in North Wales as well. There's 4 councils in North Wales who are in a similar position. Not at the level, though, that some local authorities in South Wales who are experiencing local lockdowns are in. I want to give assurances that our officers are working really closely with Public Health Wales and Welsh Government officials to keep these numbers under review and to look at any appropriate steps that may need to be taken to keep the virus at as low a level as possible in our area. Ultimately, it is up to Welsh Government ministers whether any local lockdown measures do ever get put in place in Conwy. And as I'm sure you saw in the news this morning, the First Minister did announce that there is currently no case for any further local lockdowns in Wales. So that clearly includes us here in Conwy. So that's our current position, Mr. Chairman. My thanks again to everybody for a huge amount of efforts over recent months, and especially to our communities for continuing to live within very different restrictions that we would ideally want, but really understanding the difference that makes to everyone in our county. I will, of course, continue to update members as things progress over the coming weeks and months. But that's all I have to say for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam, for all your updates. It will be probably helpful if any of the cabinet members wish to speak, if they can go on to the participant and put their hand up, then I'll request them to come or invite them in. Is that okay? Any cabinet members wish to make any announcement? I'm just scroll. Oh.
So, Councillor.
Councillor Chris Cater, do you like to come in?
Yeah, Longafachiadai, he with Abdul.
Congratulations to the new chair, Abdul.
And also, of course, to my friend Ivor as well. We were both elected in 2004, weren't we, Abdul? And
yes.
16 years, it's not been so bad, has it, really?
No.
Anyway.
Where did it go?
Councillors will know that a completely new service was set up in response to the pandemic emergency, the Community Support Service, which from lockdown to the end of July, you know, that there are over 6,000 calls to that and over 2,500 deliveries. So we know that Conwy Council staff were redeployed from their normal duties, and I want to just pay my tribute to them, how they responded and have provided such a huge service to our local community. I just wanted to inform members this afternoon that the service is continuing. It is just a call handling provision at the moment, but it's still functioning as a signposting system. And I would just like to assure members that one, there is a core group of staff remaining to assist the most vulnerable, and also the service can be dialed up again in an appropriate manner if in a relevant format, if it's needed for our community. So I just want to assure fellow councillors about that. The other thing I just wanted to mention very briefly is the Town and Community Council Forum will continue on the 7th of October. We're going to have that in a remote format. So I just wanted to let you know that that's still on, and our communication and discussions with the town community councils will be continuing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Chris. I have Councillor Gronway next.
Abdul.
Thank you, Abdul.
What Councillor Chris has just said about the community support services, they've worked tirelessly since the outbreak began, and they really have helped our communities. I'd also like to thank the business team for all the work they've done in supporting the business sector over this period. There's a vast amount of money that's been paid out to our business sectors and to community groups. There's going to be a significant challenge in facing them going into the winter. We're lobbying hard that there's a continued support from both Welsh Government and national government. So hopefully that will still be in place, because certainly it's going to be a long winter, and it's disappointing that we've just heard from Yuan and from Sam that things are looking a bit gloomy at the moment. But I'd just like to take this opportunity also to thank Yuan and his team. They're going to have to pick up again and start really meeting almost daily to keep on top of this current situation. Also from my group, I'd like to thank Sam for the commitment he's shown throughout this period. I know the workload that he's had and the meetings he has with ministers daily. So thank you very much, Sam, on behalf of my group.
Thank you, Councillor Gordon. Councillor Greig is next.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Firstly, congratulations to yourself and Ivor, and obviously many thanks, Councillor Peter, for your years of hard work. Obviously, ERF has been a very frontline service. I'm so proud of the way it's responded to the situation we've had in COVID, and also the support we've had from members from other services who have fitted in to fill the gaps when we have had shortages. We managed to keep going. We managed to provide the frontline services. Most councils in Wales did not. And the fact that our team managed to do that, I think is amazing. I really want to put it on record, my thanks to everybody who's involved in this, and not just the officers. I mean, the guys and girls who are actually out there on the streets, because they work really hard and put themselves at risk to make sure our residents and businesses were served. One other thing I'd like to comment on, well, two things actually I'd like to comment on. One is school transport. We had an extreme challenge this year. The guidance and regulations were changing up to the week before the service was due to commence. We had over 300 late applications in 1 week, about 70 to 80 at most. We dealt with it. And I just want to congratulate the team in ERF and education for working together in a seamless manner to making sure, yes, we had a few hiccups, but considering the scale of it, I'm absolutely amazed how well they work together. Absolutely brilliant. And one final thing, I just wanted to assure you all that despite the pandemic, despite all the additional work, despite all the resilience work we've had to do, the work on the programme board has been progressing. We have not slipped on schedule, and we actually have a meeting in October to finalise, moving forward to the next stage. We're still committed to making sure we hit that target in 10 years' time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Green. Councillor Emma next, please. Leighton Jones.
Thank you very much, Chair, and congratulations on your position. I'd just like to be really quick and just to take this opportunity to publicly thank the exceptional team that we have here in Conwy. That includes staff and that includes members, for we are a team at whatever point in the political divide we sit. In relation to my own portfolio, and as you'll be aware from Cabinet updates, then the HR, IT and corporate health and safety have worked flat out to ensure that staff and us as members have the best possible ability to be able to work remotely. I know there's been a few hiccups along the way, and obviously you'll have seen the updates about those, but today is a fine example of what we can do and how we can do it well. So I look forward to working with you and all members during the months to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Councillor Charlie next, please.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to you both. Again, I won't draw this out. Members will be aware that our business grants team led the way in Wales, both in getting the money out to our businesses, but also we worked really hard to make sense of the Welsh Government guidelines around self-catering properties and ensuring that we supported the businesses that we all want to support and need to support moving forward. Our housing team have moved heaven and earth to take our homeless off the streets, and they continue to move heaven and earth to ensure that we keep them off the streets. That's not without its difficulties, not without its problems, but with the same size team, they've worked incredibly hard to do that, and it's a fantastic thing. The regulatory side has been absolutely amazing. So that's all our public health officers, our licensing, our enforcement. Again, a very small team. We took an 8% cut in our budget last year. So we're stretched to the bare bones, but they've handled this pandemic really well and continue to do so. As figures turn against us, again, that's more and more important. We'll be looking to get some Welsh Government money to expand that team, but their expertise, their dedication and the work they've done has been absolutely inspirational and humbling, and I'm sure we can all be very, very proud of them, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all for your contribution. I don't have any other cabinet members. Can I invite our Chief Executive, Ewan Davis? Would you like to come in with any announcement? I can't see you, but I'm sure your name was... Okay.
Thank you, Abdul.
Thank you.
First of all, could I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Councillor Peter Lewis for the manner in which he conducted himself as chairman. Both for me, my thanks are from me personally, but also on behalf of the officers and the staff of the council. You've been a fine ambassador and representative of the council. And I know that your involvement with the staff in each of each and every one of your sort of interactions with them has been valued and welcome. So thank you very much, Peter. Abdul, I was wondering whether to suggest that you had a hard act to follow, and I thought that might be a bit disrespectful, but you've actually said so yourself. So
yes,
I agree. You have a hard act to follow. But I have no doubt that you will follow it in your own way, and I can assure you of my and my colleagues' support to you and to you, Ivor, over the coming period. And I can see you're actually getting some of that hands-on support as we speak, Abdul.
Yes.
This meeting. So yeah, that will continue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I have to mention Councillor Dave Cowans. Just briefly, I want it noted the respect and the affection, I think, in which he is held by me and my fellow officers, and he will be missed. The flags at Bodlonde will be flown at half-mast on Friday, the day of his of the funeral, as in accordance with protocol. I think Emma just mentioned it, but it's worth noting that this is an extraordinary special meeting and a general meeting of the council. To have a council meeting held remotely is something that has been talked about for many years, but here we are, and I appreciate that it's not ideal. It's not the ideal way we wish to meet and get together, but it's the best we can do in the circumstances. And I'd like to thank Sian and Democratic Services team and the IT team for making this happen. It's a big ask. Running council meetings are tricky at the best of times, but this is on another scale. So thanks, Sian. I should also mention, I think this is the first council meeting that we've had since Delith has announced that she'll be retiring from the council. After 20 years dedicated service to the council, she'll be retiring in the new year. I will miss her greatly. I know many of us will. And just to remind you or let you know that the Senior Employment Committee met yesterday to begin the process of seeking to find a replacement. Certainly a hard act to follow. In relation to the pandemic, thank you, Sam, and other members for your words of thanks and appreciation for the work that we've done together. I think I've used the phrase in the past. I think we're blessed in Conway with the staff we have. I suspect, yes, I suspect we've got a mountain to climb over the next several months, but I'm also confident that we've got the right people, the right processes, and more importantly, yeah, I think the right attitude to make sure we see this through together. Thank you very much, Abdul, and I'll finish there.
Thank you, Ewan. You mentioned the IT team and Sian's team. I think we had a training on voting, secret voting yesterday, and one of the questions we had to answer, does Sian need wage raise? I think all but one person voted against it, and I still want to know who that was. But no, the truth is...
I didn't hear that. That didn't come through. There's something wrong with the technology.
Typical chief executive. But seriously, and I wasn't going to mention Delith today, but yes, it will be a loss to our authority, but I'm sure you can bring her also as a consultant after she retires. But thank you for your contribution anyway. Okay, so move on swiftly. Item 8, to answer questions under Council Procedure Rule. And number 14.2, I don't have any. I'm not aware of any. So, great, none received. So now we move on to item 9, minutes of the Democratic Service Committee held on 24th of August 2020. And if I can invite Councillor Sue Shotter to present this item, please. Councillor Sue.
Thank you, Chair. And can I congratulate you on your appointment, Councillor Abdul and Councillor Hyde.
Thanks, Sue.
I present the minutes of the Democratic Service Committee held on Monday, the 24th of August 2020, and to consider the following recommendations. Minutes 64B, Independent Remuneration Panel for Wales, Annual Report 2020 to 21. That it be recommended to Council that senior salaries are paid to the following post holders: 1 Chair of Planning Committee, 1 Chair of Audit and Governance Committee, 1 Chair of General Statutory Licensing Committee, 1 Chair of Democratic Service Committee. C, that it is recommended to Council that civic salaries are paid to the Chair and Vice Chair of the Council. Minutes 64B, Draft Protocol for Liaison with Local Members. The revised draft protocol for liaison with local members, as amended by the Democratic Service Committee, is recommended to Council for approval. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Sue. Shall we take all in one block vote then? Or shall we take it in one? I'm asking separately.
Sorry, Chair, can I just clarify? Councillor Sue, you also meant to say 4 chairs of the Review and Scrutiny Committees as well?
I will say 4 chairs of the Scrutiny Committee as well. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So Delith, shall we go for? I need guidance from Delith actually. Do you want to just explain to the members? Okay. So we're taking a vote on the independent remuneration first. Can you vote, members? Or can someone propose that? I think Councillor Sue, you already proposed that, did you? Or
I gave the minutes. I'm more than happy to propose them. Yeah.
Okay, can we get seconder on that then, please?
Yes, I'll second them.
Okay, and all in favour, can you vote, please? Yes or no?
Sorry, Councillor Abdul, it's Councillor James here.
Oh, hi James, sorry, I can see your hand now. So did you want to speak, James?
Yes, please, thank you.
Please do, sorry, my apology.
No problem.
Firstly, very big congratulations to you and thank you very much to Councillor Peter for all the work over the past few years.
Minutes there, I did submit my apologies, but there's no record of those on the documents. So I just wanted to raise that, if that's okay. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll amend that. Thank you, Councillor James. But apart from that, have you voted? Yeah. Majority I have. Have we got everyone in? Okay, I'll put mine. Councillor Sam hasn't voted. Councillor Frank Bradford, sorry, Bradfield.
Can I just remind members that you're using the green tick and the red cross to vote on this item? Thank you.
It's carried, members.
Yes, there was 49 yes for the vote and 1 against.
So the voting was 49 for and 1 against.
Yes.
1 against. Okay, on to next. Okay, so we're going on to item B now, and I need a proposer and seconder for that to go on to vote. B is that is to recommend to council the senior salaries are paid in the following post holders.
Councillor Abdul, I'm happy to propose.
Thank you, Councillor Sue. And
Councillor Abdul, I am happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Vaughan. So we've got a proposer and seconder. Can you please vote now? Yes for the green tick, no for the red cross.
Chair, there's 53 votes yes for the recommendation and 2 against, so that is carried.
So that's been carried now, 52 votes and 1 against. Okay, that's carried. So item C, that it will be recommended to the council civic salary are paid to the chairs and vice chair of the council, and we've been told we don't have to declare interest on that. So can we have a proposer and seconder for that, please?
Happy to gynnig.
Happy to propose.
Diolch yn fawr. Seconder?
Happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Owen. Can we then, if I'll see if there's any speakers, none. So can we go to the vote, please? Again, green tick for yes and cross for no. Well,
Chair, so far we've had 52 for the recommendation and 2 against. I've had 53 actually now, so that vote is carried.
53 for and 3 against, so that's carried. Thank you, members. Okay. Councillor Sue, can you come back again, please, for item 65? Thank you.
What would you like for?
The draft protocol for liaison with local members.
As amended by the Democratic Service Committee is recommended for Council's approval.
Yes.
I can certainly propose that.
Thank you, Councillor Sue.
Happy to second that.
Councillor Gronway has seconded. So can we go to the vote, please, on participant? Yes, for tick, green tick for yes and red cross for no.
I think that's carried, Chair. There's 55 for and none against. In fact, there's 56 now and none against.
56 for, none against, so it's carried. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Councillor Sue, for taking the item 9. If I could invite Councillor Chris Cater for item 10, please. Appointment of Council Committees 2020 and 21 on associated matters. Councillor Chris Cater.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Yeah, just right at the start, before I present this, I'd just like to give my thanks on record to the Head of Democratic Services and her team and the IT and the corporate language team. I don't think we should forget the translators. They provide an excellent service with these Zoom meetings. So can I just have that on record, please? So we go to the appointment of council committees and the other associated matters. That's on page 32, and we've got 1.1 to 1.7. So these are the items that we've got to go through and determine today, and I think we should take them one by one. So the first one is to reappoint the council committees, consider their terms of reference and determine the size of those committees, and these are all listed in Appendix A. So I would like to, I'm sure you've all had time to go through all those. It's very useful to see them all down on paper there. So is there anything that Sian would like to come in at this point on the technicalities of this?
Not really, Councillor Chris Cater. It's in the report. They're listed, as you say, in Appendix A, and what we're seeking from Council is a proposal to reappoint the committees, and you'll see in Appendix A the current size of the committees are listed together with the terms of reference. So we're just seeking to reappoint those committees.
Yep. So could I propose that, please?
I'm happy to second that.
It's been proposed and seconded. So it's been proposed and seconded. And if we could go on the vote, please. Yes for the green, no for the red cross. Sorry, we had a bit of a hiccups with the technology.
Chair, I think that's been carried. That 51 people voted for the appointment of committees, as in Appendix A.
Okay, it's been carried. 51 voted for. Was there any against? No, none against. That's carried. Thank you.
Okay, Chairman, if we can go to 1.2, allocate the seats on those committees to the various political groups in line with the political balance requirements. Yeah, I don't know whether, again, I'm going to give Sian the opportunity to come in here for the technicalities and the arithmetic of this.
Well, seeing as Council has now reappointed the committees as per Appendix A, there's no change to the political balance, so I don't think there's any need for me to go through it. The membership will remain as is.
Okay.
Can I propose that then, Chairman?
Okay, thank you very much. Any seconder, please? Councillor Charlie's hand was raised. Councillor Peter Lewis also raised. So we've got 2 seconders, but we're voting on 1.2 now on page 32. Can you please vote?
Chair, that's carried. There's 53 voted for the seats on those committees are allocated in accordance to political balance requirements.
Okay, the vote is carried. Thank you all. Councillor Cater.
Yep, this is going really well so far. 1.3, to appoint the membership and chair of the Democratic Services Committee. And, you know, as is usual, the chair must not be a member of any of the political groups representing the executive. So I think Sian has got the latest membership to put up on the screen. And then if we go to the election of the chair, if the membership is ratified by council.
Okay, so I'll just attempt to share my screen now because the membership of the Democratic Services Committee has changed. Can I just, sorry, whilst I'm speaking, I think it would be useful if we referred to the recommendation numbers rather than the paragraph numbers in the summary and key points, just so members are clear what they are actually voting for. So we're now on recommendation 2.3, and as Councillor Chris says, the membership of the Democratic Services Committee has changed, and I am hoping that.
Oh yes.
Yep. So that's the revisions. There was changes to the Plaid Cymru membership. So I think Councillor Chris has proposed the revised membership. Is there a seconder?
Happy to second that.
Okay, so we're voting on the revised membership now. Can we first vote on the revised membership, please? If everybody agrees, please press the yes button. Dawn?
Chair, I think that's carried. There's 54 in favour and 1 against of the revised membership of the Democratic Services Committee.
Thank you very much. That's carried. So, appoint of members and chair of Democratic Committee. We're going to. Can I invite a nomination for the chair of the Democratic Service Committee, please? Any nomination? Oh, hang on. I've got some speakers, sorry. Councillor Bryan, you've raised your hand to speak.
I have indeed, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations on your appointment. I know that you will enjoy the time that you have as chair of the authority.
Thank you, Brian.
It's a good position to hold. Can I put forward the name of Councillor Sue Shotter, please, to continue in her role as chair of the Democratic Services Committee? I think she's shown that she now has the experience to run that committee extremely well, and you know, it is a very important committee. It's often forgotten about in the hurly-burly of scrutiny, and she always makes sure that we are well aware of what they are up to, what they're doing, and how they're controlling us.
Have we got? Thank you, Councillor Brown. Have we got a seconder for that?
We have indeed, Councillor Abdul. I would like to second Councillor Brown's nomination. Councillor Sue Shotter has been an absolutely wonderful chair of DS and of member development, and I'd be very happy to second that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cheryl. Okay, and any other nomination, please? Aaron, you've got your hand up.
Yeah,
Councillor Aaron.
Yeah, Thank
you, Chair. Can I please nominate Councillor Sue Lloyd-Williams as chair of the Democratic Committee?
Councillor Peter Lewis's hand up. Councillor Peter Lewis, you got your hand up. Do you want to speak? Propose second?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to second Councillor Sue Lloyd-Williams for the role of Chair of Democratic Services. I've had the good fortune to actually work with Sue on a number of external bodies, and I found her grasp of the subject and control of meetings to be applauded. And members themselves will have seen how well she's chaired the planning committee in the past, when she's had some quite difficult applications to deal with, apart from her past experience as a cabinet member. I was about to say that she's a neighbouring ward to mine, and of course we all know that's a heavenly area to live, so it gives me great pleasure to second the nomination of Sue Lloyd-Williams.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. I had Councillor Chris Hughes put his hand up, and is it gone down, Chris, or did you want to speak?
I was just going to second one of the nominations, Chair. While I'm here, though, could I congratulate you on your appointment and echo the words that were said earlier by colleagues about Councillor Dave Cowans.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. So we don't have any more hands up, and we've got 2 nominations, so it will be a secret ballot. So, Shan, are we ready for that?
That's correct, and members will see that the poll will have appeared on this screen already. So please vote for either of the 2 nominations or abstain, and then press the blue submit button.
Has everyone voted? Sorry?
Yeah. As you can see, members, 57 votes were cast, 29 in favour of Sue Lloyd-Williams, 26 in favour of Councillor Sue Shotter, and 2 abstentions. Therefore, Councillor Sue Lloyd-Williams is appointed Chair of Democratic Services Committee.
Thank you for this announcement, Dawn. So, Councillor Sue Lloyd-Williams is the new chairman. Congratulations to, well, it's both Sue, isn't it? Sue Shotter and Sue Williams. Thank you both.
Fyswn ni'n cael dod i fewn a deud chydig
Come in
eiriau?
and say a few words, Chair. Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations to you.
We're having translation issues.
Are you able to hear me, members? This is the translator speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, massive congratulations to you, Abdul, and to Ivar. I know that you will, you know, do your role fantastically with amazing commitment. Both of you have done so much already for this authority. And thank you very much to my friend up in the mountains, by near to heaven, Councillor Peter. Thank you ever so much for all the work that has been done. And also, thank you very much to Councillor Sue Shotter for her work too over the years as chair for the Committee of the Democratic Services. Thank you ever so much. It's very easy for you now to remember my name anyway, because going from one Sue to another Sue. And I am really appreciative of the support, and I'm really looking forward to cooperate with all of you. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Sue, and congratulations again. And I'd like to thank Councillor Sue Shorter as well. You've been really effective on last few, for the work you've been doing as a chairman. Yes, please do come in, Councillor Sue.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Can I just say how much I'm looking forward to being on the Democratic Services Committee with Councillor Sue as chair, who I know will do an excellent job. Congratulations, Sue.
Okay, thank you both. Okay, Councillor Chris Cater can come in again, please.
Yes, thank you. We're moving now to the Audit and Governance Committee, but just take a moment to congratulate Councillor Sue Lloyd-Williams. And of course, I've worked for many years with Councillor Sue Shotter, and she's done a tremendous amount as member champion as well. Mustn't forget that, but the Chair of Democratic Services is also the member champion. So if we go to 1.4, we've got to appoint the elected members to the Audit and Governance Committee. And as Charles pointed out, the recommendations are under point 2. So that would be 2.4, that the council appoints the elected members of the Audit and Governance Committee. And Sian has got the latest list, and I would like to put those forward to full council for ratification, please.
So I'm hoping that members can see the revised list of the Audit Committee membership.
Okay, if it's a revised, can we then have a vote to accept that revised membership, please? Can I have a proposal for that?
Yeah, I proposed it, Chairman, yeah.
Thank you. Seconder, please.
Yes, I'll second it.
Councillor Brown, thank you. So can we go to vote for that, please? Yes, for the green tick, no for the red cross. It's coming thick and fast. We're getting used to that now, aren't we?
I think that's carried, Chair. There's 51 in favour of the revised membership of the Audit and Governance Committee, with no abstention and against.
No abstention. So that's carried. Thank you very much. So if we can go to the vote on 1.4.
Yeah, we're going on to, well, it's 1.115.
1.5.
Yeah, reaffirm the membership of the Standards Committee, and the details are on page 35.
Sorry, Councillor Cater, and all do forgive me, but have we had a vote on 1.4 on revised one, haven't we?
Yes,
okay.
we've done the revised membership. Yeah, thank you.
So 1.5, yes. Go ahead.
So we're going on to the Standards Committee, and the details of the Standards Committee is there at 3.4. So we've got to appoint the membership and the co-opted independent members as well. So there's a note there, 3.4.4, about Ian Moore, whose first term in office will be coming to an end. So we've got to reaffirm the membership, and I would propose that that goes forward to council ratification now. I don't know whether Sian's got the latest membership up on the board, but it is unchanged, isn't it?
It's unchanged, and it's as per recommendation 2.5.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a proposal from Councillor Cater that it's been seconded Councillor Grunway and Councillor Bryan. So all in favour? There's no change on that. We're just reaffirming. Can you vote, please?
Chair, I think that's carried. There's 53 in favour of reaffirming the membership of the Standards Committee and the reappointment of Ian Moore as the co-opted independent member for a term of 4 years.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Chris.
Yeah, so we're going to 1.6 to make arrangements to ensure that the chairs of the overview and scrutiny committees should not be allocated wholly to members of the same political group as those represented on the executive. So the political groups represented on the executive can each only appoint as many chairs as are proportionate to their share of the council's overall membership. So the recommendation itself is at 2.6, and I think as this is very technical and the balance requires a bit of arithmetic, I wonder if I could hand over to Sian just to explain to us how that works.
It's for council, it's just to note really the allocation of the scrutiny chairs. So as per the council report, those groups that are represented on the executive are entitled to 2 of the scrutiny chairs, which means that the opposition groups are entitled to 2 of the scrutiny chairs as well. So we know that in line with our constitution, the leader of the largest opposition group, which is Plaid Cymru, takes the chair of our Finance and Resources Scrutiny Committee. The next largest opposition group is the Labour group, so they are entitled to 1 of the scrutiny chairs as well. So at this point for council, it's to note the allocation, and it will be for the scrutiny committees to determine which of the group nominations get the chairs if the groups can't reach a consensus between themselves.
Okay, so you know, we would like to encourage everyone to reach a consensus is my comment on that. But if I could propose to council that we note the arrangements as set out in 2.6. If I can propose that, Chair.
Yeah. Anybody to second that?
Happy to second that.
Thank you, Councillor Grunway. Shall we take a vote and we'll just note it? Sorry, Chris, your hand was up.
Thanks, Chair. I welcome Chris's comments then with regards to reaching a consensus. Unfortunately, the coalition groups are refusing at the moment to indicate who they're which seats they're interested in. So perhaps he could have a word with the group leaders of the 3 groups that make up the coalition and persuade them to enter into meaningful discussions on that.
I mean, at this point in time, Chris, we're just ratifying noting that recommendation, aren't we?
I understand that, Chair.
Can that be resolved after?
Point, and I'm just hoping he can help to resolve the issue.
I think Chris was just saying that hopefully he's hoping that it will be resolved amongst the opposition. That was his comment. Chris Cater, do you want to come in on that?
No, I just hope it will be. I know discussions have been taking place, so hopefully as the committees meet, they'll all have a chairman and get on with the hard work that's ahead of them all.
Yeah, and if not, we can cross that bridge when we come to it. So for today, for records, if we can vote on that 1.6 to note that recommendation. Are you happy with that, or Sian, can you come in?
Just to clarify, it's 2.6, Chair.
2.6, okay. 3.6. I was only one out. I never was good at math. 2.6 members. Is it carried? Dawn?
Yes, we've had 48 in favour of noting the arrangements for the appointment of chairs to overview and scrutiny committees, and no one against.
So we had 48 for and no one against, so it's carried. Thank you.
Okay, we go to 1.7 now, Chair, which is to agree the timetable of committee meetings, and those are all there in the chart at the end. So again, if I could ask Council to ratify that timetable, please. That's 2.7 as a recommendation. That's municipal year 2020-2021.
So are we reading, is it that the members consider size in terms of reference of committee listed in Appendix A and recommend?
No, so this, Chair, is recommendation 2.7. So it's Council has to agree the timetable of meetings for the municipal year 2020/21.
I move recommendation 2.7.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favour, can you vote, please? Peter Lewis, Councillor Peter Lewis wants to speak. Right, we have got seconder, a proposer and seconder. Thank you, Peter. So if we can move on to voting, please.
Chair, I think that's carried. We've got 51 in favour of the timetable for 2021 and 1 against.
Oh, thank you. Just a question to Councillor Chris Cater. I hope you're not going up and down presenting this. Down.
No, I'm sitting comfortably. Thank you, Chairman.
Good to hear. Carry on.
Yeah, do you want to go to the next item on the agenda, which is the overskew? Yeah.
Yes, please.
The scrutiny, right. So this is the annual overview and scrutiny report for 2019-2020. So it goes through 10 months. Usually it's 12 months that's presented to the council, but due to the fact that we had the lockdown, it just goes through the information about those 10 months. So as we know, overview and scrutiny is an essential part of the council's governance arrangement, and so it is crucial that we have a report on it once a year. This report does cover some of the period. It briefly goes into how scrutiny has been functioning at the beginning of the pandemic emergency. So that's interesting to see that it just covers that very first portion of the period. In the report, you'll find that there are reviews for each of the 4 politically balanced overview and scrutiny committees, together, of course, with the task and finish working groups, which do crucial work as well. So we've got policy development achievements, how the public engagement has been included. So that is all there for members to look at. And the report has already been to the chairs and the vice chairs, and it's gone to finance and resources as well. So we need to really go to the recommendation at 2.1, which is that the members today at full council consider the annual report and approve it. So again, I would like to propose that we accept it as it stands.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chris. Any seconder for that, please?
Yeah. Yes, I'll second it, Chair.
Okay, and can I bring in Councillor Gareth Jones who wants to speak? Oh, Councillor Gareth Jones.
Well, thank you very much, and massive congratulations to you, Councillor Abdul, and every success to you. And
Thank you,
thank you
Councillor
also to
Jones.
Peter for the work. Congratulations also to Councillor Ivor and best wishes to you all. I just have one thing to say. By looking at this report in front of us, at 2.4.1, there's a table there giving some kind of telling us how many meetings have been held. And really, it's quite a disappointment to read the contents of this table, to realise that you have 14 meetings that have been held to talk about finance, which is fine. And I accept it's been a difficult situation. But if you look at how many meetings we've had to look at education, and also, if I can say, on social care and health, those two items are really the biggest as far as expenditure goes. And we've given them the least attention as far as overview has gone. And that doesn't really reflect very well, if I can say, on the authority. And I really do hope that there will be a significant increase and better scrutiny on the meetings in front of us now. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. Point taken. Councillor Frank Bradfield, please.
Thank you, Chair. It follows on what Councillor Gareth said. And first of all, I would like to thank all the heads of services that deal with social services in Conway, and I also pay respects to the Chair, who has been excellent, Penny. But following up with what Councillor Gareth says, we've only got 5 meetings left until the end of this financial year, and one wonders if that's sufficient. I ask members to look at the responsibility of this committee, its officers and its users, the cover and the extent of this committee. Mental health alone could do with 5 meetings, given the present state and what lies in store with COVID-19 and the stress expected within households when the furlough provision comes to an end, endangering employment. Then we have a section on tackling poverty, and one wonders how we're going to deal with that. So there is many things to discover. Having said that, I do praise and I have praised everybody that works in social services. The report says that there's 9 meetings should have been held in 2019-20. They only held 5, there's 4. And all these scrutiny committees, Chair, 44 meetings, 14 of them were cancelled. Personally, I don't think that's good enough, but it's up to members. And I'm glad you let me speak, because it is an overview, and I think extremely important social services. And I'm glad you gave me this opportunity, Chair. Thank you, and I thank members.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Frank. Councillor Lewis, please. Councillor Louisa Mary.
Thank you, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Louise.
everybody, and congratulations to all of you that have got the chairs, and to Abdul as well. I just wanted to respond really to Gareth and Frank's comments, because I'm more than willing, as the portfolio holder for adult social care, to work with the chair and vice chair of the Social Care Scrutiny Committee to bring forward reports that are very important. But I don't see the point of gathering just to have a sort of talking shop. We need to have some focus with the committee, so we need to bring the reports forward that actually have some action. And if we remember, we did have a social services task and finish group that learnt a lot about how the service worked, but didn't really come up with the answers to the budgetary problems. Hence it was left to the portfolio holders to do so, which we did. So we have so much going on within social care. Think about all the projects we're doing, from Dinneth Road to Ysgol Malgwyn, the Douglas Family Centre, Meadow Lodge. It goes on, and all that is going on, and those reports will come forward to scrutiny, and there's also members of that scrutiny that sit on the project boards. So I don't really agree with the fact that just because we're not meeting that things aren't happening. We need to make sure the officers aren't under pressure to bring reports forward just for the sake of bringing reports forward, so we can all satisfy ourselves that we're well informed. You've always got myself and Cheryl to speak to, and if you want any sort of detail about anything that's going on, then you're more than willing to email us. But essentially, I think social care scrutiny, we have missed a few meetings because of what's been going on with the pandemic, but I don't agree that's for any other reason other than giving the officers the time to deal with the crisis in the early days. And I'm certainly willing to sit down with the chair and look at where the gaps are, if indeed there are any gaps. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other speakers? Councillor Nigel? Can you hear me, Nigel?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and
Thanks.
congratulations on your appointment and the other chair.
Thank you.
And vice chairs, of course. Yeah, it's very easy to look at a series of numbers and try and draw a comparison, but you have to have something to compare it to. And we are in the middle of a unprecedented event, this COVID pandemic. I mean, to pardon the pun, to put it frankly, I'm a little bit amazed that we're actually holding meetings now online. And it just goes to show the dedication and the skills of our staff that have enabled us to do it, you know. So it's very easy to look at these figures, but we don't, you know, we've got nothing to compare it to. We're only looking at the numbers of meetings that we're supposed to have held. And that I think, to be fair to our officers and to the scrutiny committees, we should perhaps take a step back and look at how our neighbours are doing. And I reckon we'll be doing very well. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, I don't have any more hands up, so can we go to the vote now, please? If you can vote, I know some of you have already voted. Yes for green tick, no for the cross.
Chair, I think that's carried. There's 48 in favour of approving the annual reports and none against.
So it's carried 48 for, none against. Thank you. Councillor Chris Kate, are you still there?
Yep, thank you very much. Thank you, members.
Thank you. It's closed. So
Yeah, sorry. I've been asked in one of the messages to remind members that is the end of the formal agenda, but Councillor Mike has asked me to remind everybody of the email I circulated about the funeral arrangements for the late Dave Cowans, and the request in there that from the family that if you are able to congregate opposite the Parth area, so at the bottom of Arias Park Hill, socially distanced of course. The car will be leaving, I can't remember what it's called, car will be leaving Penmine Head at 12 noon. So for those of you that know the area, we will have a better idea of what time it will get to the bottom of Arias Park Hill. I don't think it'll take long. So it's just a reminder, please.
thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean, Mike, for this reminder, and thank you all for bearing with me. Being my first meeting, I did say it'll be a hard act to follow. So on that note, can I thank Sean and Don? I hate naming anyone because everyone's been really great on the IT section, and members for persevering. Thank you all and have a good day. And we will leave the Zoom meeting now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.